you today from Emily Moore Designs, and I'm going to be making you a card with some of my own products but also others, and I'm so excited to be doing this with you today from my kitchen on World Card Makers Day. So let's get started. I just want to show you some fun techniques I have, and bear with me here as I switch my camera. Hey, Mike. Mike. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm good. Okay, sorry guys. So today I'm going to be making a fun card with my new paper. I have my products here. I'm excited to show you. I just created this paper card base, and the best thing about it is that you just have to fold it in half. So this is A2 size paper. I was just tired of cutting my paper, tired of cutting my card bases, and my paper pack comes with 30 different sheets, and you get 10 plain white, because I know people like that, but you also get some pretty patterns in here too. So here are some of the patterns. I decided today I really want to work with this really pretty purple flower paper I have. Okay, so this one I actually created I put all these little shapes together. So this one was a labor of love. I really enjoyed creating this. And later I found out I do have these dies from Tim Holtz. And these are one of my favorite dies I use. Is it upside down? I wonder if my camera's upside down. Here, let me switch it for you guys just to make sure. Oh wait, hold on guys, I'm sorry. This is live from my kitchen, so we're just working out the kinks. Let me just flip this because I'm a little worried I was upside down. Okay, how does that look? A little better? Make sure it stays there. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, okay. So these are the Thinlits I have from Tim Holtz. They're a lot older, and I use them all the time to make flowers. So these are a couple of my favorite ones. Here I have this really pretty flower I made, and I just wanted to show you how I did this. So I really felt like this paper initially ended up being inspired by these flowers, because look at how similar they are to each other. So what I'm gonna do, I have only a few Catherine Pooler inks here. So this is one of my favorite things to do, is like make my own flowers, make my own embellishments, stuff like that. So I have just some scrap white paper here and some grays. And so first I'll just show you my card base. All you have to do is fold it in half. And I like having a straight edge like this. My Fiskars cutter has this really nice straight edge at the end. And then I don't even use a bone folder. I know people like them, but that's it. That's how you, isn't that simple? So that's my new paper pad. There's 7 other designs. So let's start making some flowers. How fun. So this is a technique with the ink you can use. I've done it here, called direct to paper. So I'm just gonna grab a couple inks. Direct to paper just means you take your ink pad, you take your cap off, and you press it down on your paper, like that. Look at how pretty that is. That's pixie dust. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, it means a lot to me. Okay, so this is the pretty color, right? So I'm gonna let it dry. This one I might use because it's just already, this is the sugared lavender. It's that nice dark. And then I am gonna do a little bit of ink blending because it does give, you know, a different color. I do have a blog post on my blog about the many different ways you can use the Catherine Pooler inks. There's about 5 plus, I think, but there's probably more, even more than that. My brush is a little dirty because I used some black on there, so it's going to be a little darker than the regular pixie dust, but that's fine. I don't mind. So just doing a little bit of ink blending. And I think I'm going to also use some cotton candy. This one I use quite a bit, so I'm going to try to do direct to paper. Yeah, it's a little bit dry, my ink pad, but compress it down more than once. All right, so now I'm going to show you. Thank you. This is pretty, isn't it? Everybody loves a good flower, right? Ask Miley, she knows. Okay, so I got my mica spray. The spray, you want to shake it until you hear the ball. So you hear that, and it has that shimmer. This spray is the best because I have like this brushed pewter, which is like a silver. And I just have this cardboard box that I kept from some furniture I bought. And it works perfectly for when you want to do these mixed media ones. Actually, I think I want to use my gold one, I'm thinking. So I'm just going to spray it. And these ones give a really subtle shimmer, which we love, right? Okay, so there's that. Look at that. That's going to be so pretty. So we do want to wait for this to dry. I'm going to set it aside. But for now, let me show you how I make a flower. So I'm going to take my dies out. And I just love this die set. It comes with these different flowers. This is what I really like about it, is that the flowers, the different pieces of the flowers are all attached, oops, in the one die. So we're going to be cutting out 3 different pieces, and then we can kind of mix and match with the different colors that we used. So I'm going to pick these 2, and then just grabbing my Big Shot here. And then I also have a video on how to use the Sizzix Big Shot. If you've never used a die cutting machine, it's very simple, and I just found that it's something that really upped my card making game. It cuts out perfect shapes for you. I have some circles here that I'm probably going to cut out instead of having to cut them out yourself. Stuff like that. And there's so many different dies out there now. All right, so you just sandwich it through. And I'm just going to roll this out. And voila. So here I have my pretty flower, and then the inside of the flower looks good. And then this one as well. Okay, so I like making a couple different colors of these because then I can mix and match them. So just waiting for my other ones to dry here. I'll probably cut out some circles. So there are these. These are pretty dark, but I do like them. And I think what I'm gonna do is grab my circle die. So these are from Catherine Pooler. I love her, just circle dies. Her dies and stamps and her inks in general are the best. So I'm just kind of gonna see here. This circle might be a little small. I'm thinking of doing like a circle in vellum around the background of the flowers so that you can see it. So let's pick a little bit bigger. I think this one is the next one. Okay. So yeah, that'll be really pretty. So I have some vellum here. This is from Dress My Craft, the vellum. And I did get that at a cherry on top. And I'll make sure to link all the products I use. And when the vellum goes through, it makes a really funny sound in the machine. So that's always fun. Okay. So there we go. A perfect circle is what I'm talking about with die cutting. No more cutting out your circles. I think this is going to look really pretty, and it kind of goes with my card. So I'm thinking about just, making some embellishment type card, like flowers here for this card. I'm going to cut out a couple more circles. Are you guys making cards today on World Card Making Day? Isn't that great that there's a World Card Making Day? Let me know if you're making cards. All right. This looks great. I don't know how many flowers I'm gonna have. When I make cards, I like to just kind of feel it out. I like to make a bunch of something, and then if I have extra, that's great. I can use it for another card or project, and that goes over well. I also like doing stuff like this. So let's say you're not inspired to make a whole card. Something like creating your own embellishments like flowers is very calming, and it doesn't, it kind of alleviates the pressure of having to create a whole design, especially if you're feeling just not as inspired. Some days that happens. So here are my circles. I like these. They're really pretty, and I think they're gonna add a nice a little bit different differentiation between my card and the actual embellishment. Debbie, after chores, yes. I know after this I have laundry to do, and I'm there with you, Debbie. Yep. All right, so let's see how our paper's doing. That's super pretty. So see the shimmer on this? And look at the pink. I like that. It's still a little wet. I want to wait for that to dry. So I have just some plain purple cardstock here that I figured I could also use. All right. I'm gonna pick a different flower just to have different shapes with each one here. So that way I can mix and match between the colors. I'm just gonna cut out this one. I feel like with flowers, you can never do too many. You can never have enough like flower die cuts, but this one is really one I use quite often. I really like florals in a card. I don't know. I think that they just add such a nice touch. I know it's fall though, but I still feel like I wanted to challenge myself and possibly try to make this into a fall type card. I don't think fall cards always have to be so, or even winter, like it doesn't have to be so, you know, traditional in the sense that you have to use like certain colors for certain seasons. Of course, that always looks super nice, right? But so here I'm cutting out the other flower that I already used just so I can mix and match these colors. Cool. Let me see how my paper's doing. I probably need a little bit more dry time because if you cut it while it's wet, the paper will tear. So just trying to let it dry quicker. But I can formulate a flower here. Let's do it. Let's do one with just these pieces, and I can kind of show you. So I have some Wendy Vecchi glue here, and I'm just gonna take my glue. And if you didn't know, a really neat trick is to store your glue on its side like this, and then it stays really nicely as far as keeping the glue toward the center. So you don't have to like squirt it so hard. Does that make sense? Okay, look at that. So these are two different colors. That's pretty. You see that? Okay, and now I have a couple of darker purple dots. So I'm going to just put a little more glue on there in my dot. I think I forgot my tweezers in my craft room, but that's okay. Yes, Debbie, I know. Flowers, yes, they always, and they brighten people's day, and how nice to put that on a card. And it just, you know, people appreciate that, right? These are my honeybee gems. Look at how many I've used. I'm running a little low. So I only have green left, but I'm okay with that. I have this light green, and these have adhesive on the back side. So you don't need to use glue. You could if you want to, but I've never had an issue with these falling off or anything like that. Look at that. So there's my pretty flower. And that was just, so this was the sugared lavender that I did direct to paper, which just means you're inking it directly onto the paper from the ink pad, just pressing it right down. And then the lighter color cardstock that I had, and then just combining those colors so you have the different layers. So I think what I want to do, I really like this vellum circle, but I want to add a little bit of sparkle to it. So I'm just gonna get, let me see, I'm gonna use this here. This is some scrap paper I have, and I'm just gonna fold it in half. I found that this is the best way to do this. I've done this once for another card I made, and I have these really pretty wow sparkles. I'm just shaking them because actually there's like different sizes in here, and the big ones settle a little bit, so I just shake it up. And then I'm gonna pour this onto my cardstock here, just like that. And now I am going to take my vellum circle, and I am just going along the edge here of my circle with my glue. And just being careful with it. Don't want to get it too much on the inside of the circle. So I'm halfway through. I'm just going to dip it in my sparkles. Isn't that cool? So let's see, I'll show you. All right, a little bit more. Look at that. So that just adds a little bit more. Here, I like to tap it, sorry, to get the excess off, because you don't want it falling off on its own. There we go. So obviously let's do the other side now. I like to do one side at a time, just to make sure it's sticking. It's a little bit easier. Make sure my glue doesn't dry. All right. And dip it in your sparkles, and you can use this with any glitter that you have. Do this technique with anything that you have in your craft room. You do not need these like specific ones. There. Isn't that cool? So look how pretty. Yeah, so that just adds, I think, a little bit of shine, just a little pop of something for that vellum. So I'm just gonna place this, where am I gonna put this? Right here. I'm just gonna put it right there for now. So I'm gonna continue to do this while I'm still waiting for my paper to dry. Thanks, Mike. I really wanted to show you guys my paper. Obviously, it was a lot of fun to make, but I really wanted something that could be practical for card makers. I really felt like we spend a lot of time in the craft room cutting our cardstock, and I don't understand why we're doing that still. And I also wanted some pretty patterns. So that's my pretty new paper that I'm working with. I also have some dies I'll show you as well that I did create, and a stamp set. So I'm gonna use as much of it as I can, and then we're gonna give some of it away. Whoop, whoop. All right, so I almost did all of it there. Isn't this pretty? I don't know what inspired me to do this, but I felt like the edges of the vellum needed a little sparkle, and this would be really pretty on a Christmas card, right? Christmas, especially with like these silver sparklies. Pretty. Okay, put that one there. All right. what are you guys doing this weekend? I know it's Card Makers Day, but it's cold here. We live in Michigan and it got chilly today. It was 80 all last week. And now it's freezing and our dog loves it. Maybe we'll go get some pumpkins. It's a good weekend for that, right? Pumpkins, fall stuff. All right, this is one of those things too. It's a little tedious, but it just makes it look so good. So once I get these sparkles on, nice. There we go. I'll show it to you better once it's dry as well. So that looks good, right? Cool. Set this one here. So now that my sparkles are in this perfectly cut cardstock, I'm just gonna take it and dump it in. All right. So so this is looking good. It's still a little wet, but I think we might be able to get away with cutting it now. But first, before we do that, let me show you, let's pick a sentiment out for our cards. So of course I'm doing flowers and I have these pretty sparkles I'm doing. But I decided to grab some of my photo play stamps I have some winter ones and some fall ones because I did want to show, why not make a fall card or a winter card with some really beautiful purple paper or something, you know, not as usual. So I'm liking this Grateful for You because it's kind of broad, right? It's not necessarily super fall themed. So I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna grab my Misty. I also have a full blog post on the Misty, how to use that. Let me just grab it here. Let me see my arm reach, sorry. All right. Okay, so with the Misty, what's great about the Misty is you can, you know, put your sentiment down and you can stamp more than once. So here too, I'm gonna grab a little bit more scrap paper. Let me see if I have some white here I can salvage. All right, I might actually use this gray because actually the gray might look pretty with this. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna use this gray piece and I just have a scrap piece of paper here. And I'm gonna do it, actually, let me see. I might try to use one of my dies with this. So I'm gonna trim these down actually. That way I can show you some of my other products. Okay, so I'm just placing this down. I have actually a sticky magnet here, which works really nicely. I don't necessarily need the magnet, but I like having it there. So you can see on my grid, it's not very straight. So there's a nice like ruler grid here you can use. So just line it up. And then that way, you know your sentiment's gonna be nice and straight on there. And so we'll do it, I'm gonna do it right in the center here so I can die cut it out. And then this part also has the ruler. So just sticking your stamp down first and then making sure it's straight. I think that looks pretty good actually. And I wanted to show you, here they are. So these are my card sentiment dies. I created these as well. I really wanted something simple and again, practical for card makers that anybody could use of any skill level and that you can pair these with any of your stamps that you have at home. A lot of stamps do come with the coordinating dies, but then you have all these dies that are specific to that exact shape. So I really wanted some dies that you could use for your own stamps and just kind of practical type stuff, you know, for your sentiments. So I'm gonna grab, I might use the ribbon because I think it's thin enough, that'll work good. So let me see, probably gonna try to stamp this. Let's see, I'm gonna use some pixie dust here, see how I like it. And then just press. Oh, that looks pretty. Okay, so look at that. That's really pretty. So now we're gonna take my ribbon. I like the ribbon with this. See how perfectly that fits? And this isn't like my stamp. This is Photoplay stamp, but these are my dies. So I'm going to cut this out. Oh, don't wanna lose my magnet. All right, so these dies work like any other die. You just obviously put it on your die cutting machine. I do like to have, I have like a little piece of washi here that I use to make sure it's exactly where I want it, so I'm not, it's not gonna shift when it goes through my machine. So, just gonna grab my top piece here and I'm gonna run it through my machine. All right. And the other thing I made sure to do with these dies, I'll show you as well with an example. Oh, here we go. It's sticking to the washi a little. Perfect. All right. Oh, get that little piece off. There we go. Look at how cute. That's the perfect little ribbon, right? Awesome, that looks great. So that looks good. I made sure with the dies as well that there weren't any embossing edges within the paper. So you'll see the leftover cardstock has that embossed edge and not the actual die cut. I wanted to make sure of that because, you know, just to make it a nice clean cut. So I think my paper is pretty much good here. It's still a little wet, but let's just try one. Let's try over here because this is the ink blending we did. I really like this flower. So let's cut this out. And isn't it great you can use your inks to, you know, make your own embellishments? I always love doing stuff like this. All right. Yeah, so see, that has that mica in there. It's super sparkly and shiny. Looks good. All right, let's see if we can cut these other ones out. I'll try the pink one. The pink one feels a little bit drier. And again, I'm cutting all these out. I chose like 3 flowers from the pack because I feel like I don't need a whole bunch. And again, these might not all end up on this card, and that's totally okay. I just want to give myself a lot of options. All right. Okay, these cut out fine. Nice. So I got my pinks here. This looks really good. Cute little pink guy, which might be a nice little difference between all the purple we have going on with between the paper, and I have this piece here. I need my tweezers to get them out, but I don't have them. It's a little baby piece. See if I can go grab them quickly. All right, I'm gonna try this one, and let's do this one again. It's a little bit of a repetitive process, but it's definitely worth it once you kind of get it all together. All right, my Big Shot's getting a little squeaky. So, oh, this one was a little bit damp. So let's see how this one does. Whoop. Okay, it's still a little bit wet, but that did fine. My paper didn't tear. And this color is so pretty. This was Pixie Dust. Super pretty, and that almost matches my paper perfectly. And then same here. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, so I would just recommend when you're inking and stuff, if you ever have like leftover ink or sprays that you're doing, just to throw it on your paper, and then you can use it to die cut later. You never know what you can use those scraps for, right? So, okay, I'm gonna move the machine out of my way here. Look at all these pretty flowers I have. All right, so now I have all these different options. I have all these flower bases, if you will, like the back side of them, and then I have the insides. And this is where you can mix and match, right? So super pretty. Look at that pixie on that one. It's so cute. Let me see if I can move this so you guys can see it a little better. Isn't that pretty? Just makes it pop. So I might move this down a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to take my glue and do what I did with this one, and I might just make a couple flowers here. I really like, this guy on the, and this is just the pretty lavender cardstock that I had. And then this is the pixie dust. And I do like this one also. This was done with that mica. So it does have a little bit of that shine. I don't know if you can see it in the video. And I think I'm gonna pair it with a darker one and maybe even put the pink one on top. Okay. Nice. I might do, ooh, this will be pretty. My pixie dust circle. And then you can always add sequins onto the center of your flowers if you don't have like the little honeybee dots. Oops. So that's 4 layers. There we go. My flowers. Aren't those pretty? These are my pretty flowers that we just made together. Isn't that fun? So of course you can use more of the flowers in the pack and do even more mixing. And obviously you can put the ones together that do belong together. I just like utilizing it this way because you can create those different color inks and you can just kind of, I don't know, add a little more dimension to them. So I have this shape and this shape, and I have 3 of my, and I was starting to work on this one. I think we can use this guy because, let's see, what do I have here? I have 3 of my vellum circles that I want to place these on. And I can do more flowers if I want to on the front. I don't need it to be on the vellum circles necessarily. I just kind of liked it. I like that. That's pretty. So let's do this. This is the pink. So the pink, that's that cotton candy. Came out super light. I think partially because my ink pad's a little dry, but it also just looks really pretty. And I sprayed it with that mica, so there is a little bit of shine in there. Okay. Okay, here we go. I have these sequins. These are also Catherine Pooler. And look how pretty they are. Let's do a sequin. Look at this pretty. I don't have my tweezers. It's so hard without tweezers. What did we do before tweezers? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna put one of these sequins on. Oop, a little too much glue, but I like the Maker's Art. It dries pretty clear. So, oh, look at this. My husband to the rescue. I got my tweezers. I really like these Sizzix ones. There's nothing strange about them. They're just typical tweezers. So you can just grab, you know, we can just grab some sequins to put them on the card or whatever. So let's see. Maybe I'll put a sequin on this one. That's pretty. What do you guys think? Sequin or a dot? All right. I like that because that adds a little bit different color. Okay, and these are still gonna need some time to dry, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't mean we can't work with them, right? I'm gonna take my flowers. This is what I wanna do. I want them on my vellum base here, vellum base, my circle, with a little bit of foam. So let me grab my foam tape. This is cherry foam tape. It's huge, right? So I just like to trim it down. Where are my, I have some really cute, here they are. These are my adhesive scissors. Aren't they cute? I got them from Target. So these are great. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Said go for the sequin. I did the sequin. It looks good, I think. All right. Okay, so I'm just trimming down my foam. You can buy, I had foam dots, but I ran out. There's like the really nice little ones. But I do like the cherry tape foam because it is kind of thin. So I like that it's not too much, but you could definitely stack it if you feel like, you know, you wanted a little more of a pop. Nice. How's that look? Oops, I dropped it. Here we go. She's okay. Oh no, I dropped it again. There we go. Nice and steady. Okay, look at that. Ooh, she's shimmery and shiny. Cool, that's gonna look cool on my card, I think. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm liking this guy here. All right. This idea's been in my head for a little while. Does it ever happen to you where you get an idea and it's just kind of stuck and then it won't go away until you do it? Isn't that pretty? All right. Let's do my third vellum piece. This is fun. All right. These are both really pretty. I'm not sure. I think I'm liking this one. This one might be pretty just on the background on its own. This one is the Pixie Dust. And it also has a sequin on there, just a different type. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more foam. Oh, as I was saying earlier, I think I lost my train of thought. These scissors, if you don't have adhesive scissors, they are amazing for cutting your foam tape, or if you have, like I use cherry tape, if you don't have like a tape runner, it's really nice and it doesn't get your scissors all gummy. Oh no, my sequin fell off. There we go. We're good. It's just not dry all the way. I'm just being impatient. So it's good to have different elements, right? Like we stamped our sentiment while we were waiting for our flowers to dry, but I didn't have too much more to do, so I just wanted to show you these pretty vellum flowers. Look at these. And you know, we could have put them just on the vellum, but I really feel like that sparkle kind of adds a little something to it, right? A little oomph. All right, so let's grab my card base. This is really pretty. Okay, so I think I'm gonna, again, use the foam tape here. And then the way I make cards, I just kind of hold it up and I'm like, where do I like this? Do I like it here? Do I want it over here? Do I want it in the center? I feel like a ribbon is, I don't know, good for having on the side. Yes, Debbie, they are called adhesive scissors. I'll link some for you. These cute ones I got at Target, I don't know. But they have some in Fiskars that I do have as well. They're not cute and floral. They're really, really nice though. Fiskars, they're really good quality, and they have them at a cherry on top, so I'll link those for you. I just feel like they're such a good value because I've ruined like 5 pairs of scissors because I was cutting my foam and everything and it gets stuck. So yeah, I am gonna put this on a little bit of foam. I cut that the perfect length. Who would have thought? All right. How pretty is that pixie dust with that stamp? Here, let me make sure. Is it focusing? Focus. I don't know if it's focusing. Okay, well, I think you can see it down here a little better. So the Grateful For You looks really pretty with this color, and it just kind of matches my paper nicely. So I'm gonna use my tweezers just so I don't ruin these. Look at these guys. Pretty. I think this is the way to do pattern paper. I think that I started out just using pattern paper. I know a lot of people love inking their own backgrounds and stuff like that. And I do too now that I've learned all that. But I don't know, there's just something about pattern paper I really, really love. And I think something like this, where you have some vellum to kind of tone down the background and then focus on that embellishment, really works. So I'm just trying to figure out the placement here. I might put this, these are a little bigger than I thought, but I like them all. So just trying to figure out where I want it. Maybe over here. Maybe I'll do something like this. That's pretty. What do we think? Do we like this orientation? What do you think, Debbie? I don't mind this. And then we could add, all right, we can add in like extra flowers, but I don't even know I think I like it like this. I like the I do like when the ribbon's off to the side and kind of coming in. So I think I am gonna place that there. Let's do it. I like the way this looks. I'm going in the center of my flower pattern here. That looks cool. And then I think I will put these also on a little bit of foam. What's nice about the cherry foam is that it's not so thick, so it's not gonna be super bulky. And another nice thing is that with the vellum, obviously when you have regular adhesive, you don't wanna see through that vellum. But with this, since we have that flower covering it, we can just put it on the back and nobody will know. So you don't see your adhesive. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna cut a little bit more foam here. Peeling off the back carefully. There we go. Nice. All right, what do you guys think of this card? I do want to show you a couple other things. But yeah, this is my paper, but I used some Tim Holtz dies, and I used Photoplay stamp and some, obviously, the beautiful Catherine Pooler ink, because I just feel like use the flowers and stuff you have in your stash, and then you can make this too. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah. So look at that. Maybe I'll add some more sequins. Some of the sparkles are coming off a little. That's fine. That'll continue to dry. So all of my papers, the insides, the B sides is what they call them. So this is the A side, this is the B, so the front and the back. The back side, or the inside of the card, I left blank. So all my patterns, like I have this pretty bike one. The inside is obviously the color of the card, but it's blank. I didn't want there to be, another pattern on the inside. But I also have this die here, which is my A2 liner. And of course you can use that for the front of your card. I know a lot of people like to do that, but I like to use it for the inside of my card. So let me just show you. I don't know if I have enough paper for it, actually. I think I used all my paper. Let me see if I have. I wanted to show you the A2 liner, but I might not have. This is probably not big enough. But anyway, you can cut this out, and then you would place this on the inside of your card in here. Let me just grab some paper really quick. And this would look really pretty with the gray, I think, because we used the gray for the banner, the ribbon. So let me see, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, thank you for holding. I have some gray here. I just really wanted to, I know everybody does the outside of the cards, but I want to also do the inside because I feel like it's an opportunity to do more. And especially on that blank inside where we could add some more of our flowers, right? Because it's not like we have that pattern on there to worry about. So I'm just going to trim this down. I want to show you my A2 liner here. I'm going to grab my Big Shot. And I might not get to the whole card today, but I'll definitely make sure to share pictures. Okay, so I found doing this, oh, here, let me make sure you can see. Doing this in, let me lift this up a little bit again. Okay, doing this in this orientation, this way, vertically, not horizontally, but this way works better in the Big Shot. And this is a big die, so, and it's nice and thick, the metal, and we do have a really pretty stitched border on it too. Just a little bit of oomph there, we go, but they cut so well. So here we go, nice. Doesn't that look great? So now we have this really nice liner. And of course I have some white paper in here, 10 pieces of white. So you could do this as the front on a border, but the purpose I used it for was the inside of the card. And it's a perfect, I believe it's a fourth, a quarter, or I think an eighth of an inch in. So it still has that nice little border. You can write whatever you want here, and we can put some more sentiments and flowers up there. So let me cut out, I wanted to show you the other thing. I don't know about you, but for card making, but also just for holidays in general, I really like giving gift cards. So a really big deal for me was to create a die that would be able to fit inside of a card that would be able to hold a gift card. I've seen them before. So here's my gift card die. And then here are my numbers and gifting stamps that go with it. But this one was a labor of love. We went back and forth between, making sure these etches were in the exact right place so that the gift card would fit perfectly. And even if you're not a card maker, this is a great, great die to have. You can crank out like 20 of these in like 5 minutes for Christmas. Just imagine that. Think about, graduations, stuff like that. And then I also have this cute stamp set that goes with it. Let me just show you though, the die. All right. Okay, so here it is. Oh, I just love this guy. And let me see, I don't know if I have an actual gift card to show you, but these are my stamps and they're super cute. I have gas money on here. Just because this reminded me of my husband's grandma. She always gives us like gas cards for Christmas. Not always, but every now and then she'll do that. I think it's really cute. And then enjoy your gift and don't spend it all at once. And these will fit perfectly on the bottom or top of your gift card base. And of course the numbers, you can use these numbers are nice and tiny and they go for the inside here. So you can say, oh, this is a $25 gift card, right? And then I also have 2 from in love and those coordinate perfectly with this gift tag. So all of this kind of goes together very, very well. And you can make just perfect cards or tags, just great for gifting. So I think I'll put this up here and possibly do, some flowers and some stamping with it. Let me see where I'm at on time. I don't want to go over an hour, but maybe I'll show you just some stamping here with my stamps. All right, let's see what I got here. Move this up a little bit. Grab my MISTI. All right, so here I have the don't spend it all at once. I'm just gonna put it at the bottom. And let's do, let's see. Oh, I don't have my 0 in here. I've been using this quite often, so let me see. Let's do like a $35. And I also have the $sign, but of course, that's just because I've been using this quite frequently. So you can do 35 bucks in here. And then the best part about this is that it lays perfectly flat. Oops, almost forgot about this stamp. Don't want that in there. All right, so that looks good. I might, where's my magnet? It's the only thing about crafting. Do you ever lose your stuff while you craft? I do. I do it all the time. Okay, so maybe we'll go with the pixie dust since we did that on the front of the card. And my stamps are the fonts are very dainty, so you really don't need all that much of ink, and it just takes one little press. And there we go. Isn't that cute? Don't spend it all at once. And then you can put your little gift card in there. And I, of course, have videos on all my new products on my YouTube. You can check those out separately if you're interested in any of them. That'll be pretty in there, though. It's a lot of gray, though, so I might break it up with some more flowers. But let's just finish this off. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I wanted to create something that was, I still wanted it to be practical. I wanted it to be something that not everybody has or not something you see all the time. So yeah, and also just nice for beginners, but also if you're not a beginner to card making, I you know, I think this is a great set. I'm just using some cherry tape here. Looks good. And then I think I will put like a flower. Oh, I think my sequin fell off that one. Here, let's use this one. That's really pretty. And then as long as it doesn't, I would say with the glue, as long as it doesn't interrupt, you know, the slit marks here, I just wouldn't glue here. I would just make sure you glue on this side and over here, and even the sides are fine too, or the inside's fine. But of course you could hole punch this and add the gift tag, add some other tags. Can you imagine for Christmas? How cute is that? Isn't that adorable? I love the tag. I'm a card maker through and through, but like, I love the idea of tags, especially for Christmas, especially for people who, you know, maybe you have like a college kid and they're graduating, and that would be perfect for something like that, right? Like a graduation. Cute little flower there. And then this one I think needs its sequin. Let me put that sequin back on there. And then I'll probably just go through at the end here and add a bunch of sequins, because why not? That's what I do with all of my cards at the end. The embellishing, I always add sequins. There we go. I liked that sequin on there. That looks good. So I'm gonna, let's see. I'm gonna wait for that to dry though, because I don't want it to. Let me see if I could put it over here, I think. And it'll still, oh yeah, for sure. So I can wait for that to dry. And we can put this in. Cherry tape's easy enough to just rip though. So again, like just putting it here and here. So making sure you're not, you know, going over those slit marks in the back. That way it can still open. All right. And then I'm gonna find a gift card here. I think I have one laying around somewhere. I do, usually I do the inside of my card before I adhere, you know, all this stuff on, because it was a little harder to get that on just because of all the embellishments we have. Oh my gosh, I did it again, the sequin, my goodness, I'm just impatient. There we go, okay, don't touch the flower. That flower is gonna look pretty on the side there, and then I'll add some more sequins. So let me grab a gift card for you and see what I got. This cute Target one. Okay, so let's see, it just goes in one that like that. And then I'm just trying not to touch my flowers on the front. Okay, there we go. So that's how simple it just slips in like that. And it's not gonna, it's very sturdy in there, it's not gonna fall out. I mean, I don't wanna shake it too much because my flowers, but and then it's nice and flat. Obviously we have the dimension from our flowers, but you could send this in the mail. Look at how cute. Or you could make that into a cute little tag. Yeah, and for Christmas, I just feel like this would be a great stocking stuffer. And then it comes out really easily, just like that. And then right there, oh, that's how much it is? What a cute idea. Right, guys? Okay, well, I think that is the conclusion here. I just wanted to make a card today since it's World Card Making Day. Please feel free to comment on the YouTube video. Once it's done being live, it'll be on my channel, and you can comment, let me know what you want to see next, tell me what you like about my products. I'll make sure to link everything I used here today, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching and following along. Thanks, Debbie. I appreciate your support. But here's the card. Here's one last look here. The really pretty flowers, my ribbon, my paper, and then that pretty gift card insert with the liner. Isn't that great? Okay, so I think that's all for now. Let me see if I can rotate this here so you guys can see me. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's all for now. Here's my pretty card. Happy World Card Maker Day. Thank you so much for watching if you did live, or if you're watching the replay, thank you. And I'm gonna link all my products below. And I hope you either do something for yourself today, craft, make a card. But yeah, thank you guys. I love doing this with you. Thanks for watching.